Welcome back to Taste of Taylor. It's Thursday, which means we are in studio. And we always have a celebrity guest joining us for a proper interview in studio. And that person today is the one and only Brian Kelly. Hey, boy, hey.
Brianna today.
Brianna!
Yeah, I'm feeling frisky.
Hey, girl, hey.
Now that I'm a multi-hyphenate author, media personality, travel influencer,
Icon,
daddy times two.
Oh, let me do it for you. Founder of The Points Guy. Author of How to Win at Travel. This baby is coming out. Like, it's available for pre-order right now.
February 4th.
February 4th. Get your copy. And now father of two. I mean, Cooper
Kelly's no longer in the belly.
Cooper Kelly is no longer
That's
on
what I used to say with
belly.
Dean, the whole Cooper Kelly in the belly, Cooper Kelly.
And also Dean, he's 17 and a half now. He got his driver's permit.
He has slid into brotherhood with reckless abandon. He kisses his brother.
Oh my God.
He did a little bit of the pacify. He would take his pacifier and he hops in his little bassinet and he wants to play, which I'm letting him have his moment.
Yeah, let him go, right?
We all like to turn the clock back a couple years, right?
Wait, don't let me forget that I have some parenting advice. Not that I'm a parent. Isn't that the most fun thing?
It's not April 1st, Taylor.
When you're friends with not kids, oh, you know what? I do as a parent.
I'm not going to forget. So give me my parenting advice right now. I can't wait.
So a friend of mine who is a parent said that what she does
Credible source.
is she, with the oldest, in front of the oldest to the baby, she'll say to the baby, no, we don't do that. No, you can't do that, because it shows the oldest that they're not the only one who can't do
Meanwhile,
things.
the baby's traumatized. I just want milk.
No.
Got it. Okay, I could see that.
Agree or disagree, Daddy?
I mean, Dean, I rarely have to yell at him because he's just so cute.
He's so
Even when he's
cute.
toddlering and being ridiculous, when I asked him to sign your book and he was like, no, but it's hysterical.
Dean, Auntie Tay will never forget.
I don't understand. I get toddlerhood can be frustrating, but when you understand, their brains are just developing. So when he short circuits, yes, no, it's I don't take it personally.
Right.
I think it's funny.
Exactly.
I mean, it is crazy sometimes, when he throws a dinner roll at restaurant, and I'm just but I'm not going to scream at him. His brain is literally mapping, yes, no, yeah, and it's creating its own. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just not going to be one of those parents who screams at a toddler, because that's the point of them. Toddlering is to toddler.
The toddlers are toddlering. Let them toddler.
It's ridiculous when you think about it. So
Exactly.
I just enjoy it.
I love it. That's good. Keep that in my mind. I think I'm going to be a screamer. Do I give screamer energy?
You give frantic energy, which can cross over to screamer.
So wait, how is it to go? First of all, how is Cooper?
Kelly.
I can't wait to meet him.
Just over a month now.
Oh my
He's
God.
good. He's getting chunky. He was born via C-section. So that, and I think I showed you Dean's birth video.
You did.
So with Dean, I got to deliver him. The doctor, right before, I was able to pull him out, which was, and I'm not a squeamish person at all. Obviously, I thought it was fascinating. What a female body can do. I've always had respect for women, but after getting to witness childbirth with Dean, it was so this time around, Cooper was breech. So he was face up, which is very dangerous to deliver. So my amazing surrogate, who I love so much, she did C-section. Wow. And that was while getting to see him taken out as she's fully anesthetized, but looking up at me hey, how's it going? What's it?
Crazy.
Medicine is incredible. But healthy baby, full term baby. We left the hospital after 24 hours. It's been, it's just been a joy. And Dean just loves being a big brother. And it just fills my heart with joy to see my boys and to think of I was talking about theme parks the other day with someone, and I just was I remember going on the Gravitron with my brother, and I'm just thinking of the days when these boys who are 2 years apart get to just, have all these life experiences. So life's good.
Oh, I am so happy for you. Seriously.
Thank you.
It's
it is a dream come true.
Thing
for sure.
ever. So when can Cooper travel?
Cooper, so I generally wait till about 3 months. That's when Dean traveled. At 2 months, they get the first round of the major vaccinations. So really at 2 months, most doctors are try to go for 3. The longer you wait, the more developed their immune systems are.
Yep.
But frankly, traveling, the way we'll travel, I think I'm going to, because I haven't really had a paternity because, Cooper was born right before Christmas.
Right.
And then now I'm promoting this book, which I've been working on forever. So that has been going on. I really didn't take much time off. So I'm taking at least a month in April. I think I'm going to take the boys to Thailand, White Lotus style.
Oh
It's
my
where the new White
God.
Lotus is. So
That's
I think
so amazing.
I think Thailand, I've been to Thailand. It's been a long time, but just travel trend wise, expect a lot of Thailand in your feed because I can see that already
Do you
happening.
think it is because of the influence of the show of
For
White
sure.
Lotus?
And the show hasn't even come out yet. And
Right.
I think Asia's about to have a big sort of American traveler. You know, we've seen Europe the last several years now. It's just filled with Americans. I think the Asia year, this is going to be this, and next year will be the big, you know, Asia years for American travelers.
I have never been to Asia. This is a very important question to ask you. So, of all of your travels, and you can do more than one, but like, it's not even what your favorite is. It's like, what trips, if people can swing it, do they have to do? Like bucket list.
South Africa, period, full stop. South Africa,
Yep.
I've done 10 times. I don't know, maybe more. Safari is unbelievable. Even if you don't love animals, just the beauty of it all, going out and learning about animals, having cocktails as the sun's setting, as elephants are walking by. I mean, it's like next level.
Right.
There's some bougie safari camps. Cheetah Plains was the one I took Dean to actually in November. Unreal. And then you get to go to Cape Town, which is like one of the most stunning cities in the world, right on the ocean, cool beaches. You can have a fun Cape Town art, culture. And then right outside of Cape Town is the wine country, which is stunning.
Amazing.
Like unbelievable 600-year-old vineyards. So I love South Africa. And now you can fly nonstop from New York, DC, Atlanta.
Fantastic.
And once you're there, and this is the thing for everyone listening, 2025 is the year for international travel. The euro and the US dollar are almost on parity.
I was going to say.
The US dollar is so strong.
Yep.
Don't waste it going to expensive places in the US. Like you get so much more going to
Bang
South America,
for your buck.
Europe, yeah. And
Yep.
Asia, Thailand, it can be expensive to get there, but it's so affordable once you get there.
Well, that's my other question too about Asia. So my parents went to Bora Bora, and like everybody who gets
That's
married
not Asia.
like goes. and here
It's
we
the
are.
South Pacific. It's technically
no.
actually, you know what?
No. I need
It's
to know.
Oceania, which actually, I mean, technically could be Asia. I mean,
What
it's
is it technically?
that's Tahiti is French Polynesia, which is like I think it's attached to Australia, Oceania, Australia. But bless your heart, it sounds Asian.
Ish.
Only you,
how about this?
Taylor.
It's far as fuck.
Yes, it's close to Asia. It's closer to Asia than it is New York. So therefore,
Amazing. See, I'm a genius.
literally. But
Fine.
Maldives are Asia.
Okay. So whatever. That's what I meant.
Yes, Maldives are Asia. Indonesia is Asia.
So I've always said I never need to do that. But
Oh no,
do
you've
I?
gotta. Well, Asia, by the way, is incredibly diverse. Technically, Dubai is Asia,
Right.
China, Japan, but like Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam. There's amazing places to go. Indonesia, Bali.
Yep.
My dear friend Chris Birch has an incredible resort called Nihi, Nihi. It used to be the top hotel in the world from Travel and Leisure. Lots of really fascinating places, scuba diving, culture. I mean, when you go to Asia, like Europe's beautiful and you can definitely be transported in time and beautiful in Rome. But like when you go to Asia, it's a whole nother world.
It's nothing like you've ever seen before.
Correct.
And
that's what I love about travel. It's like
Right.
you'll go to like Japan and be like, my brain cannot compute. Like this is so cool and
Yes.
advanced, and it's crowded, but people are orderly and nice and polite. And in Japan, people, the men will bow to you. You bow to older men. It's like it's mind blowing.
Like the etiquette is pristine.
Yes, much more so.
Emily Post would be pleased.
Very pleased.
Very, very clean.
Very well. Some parts of Asia. I mean. But yeah, Japan is clean. Yeah. Although funny enough, Japan, one of the weirdest things is there's no trash cans anywhere.
Huh.
So apparently, I think years ago, there was a terrorist that did bombs in the trash cans.
Okay.
So throughout the entire city, it's one of the most clean cities in the world, but like there's no trash cans anywhere.
So you
like
stick it in your pocket?
you stick it in your pocket, your bag, and then you put it in your house. Fascinating, right?
Fascinating. Okay, so
And also really annoying if you like need to throw something away.
literally.
You're like,
what am I supposed to do with this?
yeah, you go into like a 7-Eleven and
Go into like a cat petting place and
yes.
throw it out there.
I took Dean when I was there last year to a piglet cafe, which was foreshadowing because we just rescued 3 piglets, Boom,
No.
Shaka, and Laka.
Oh Oh my
You know I have
God.
piglets, do you?
I
On the
didn't
farm?
realize you had piglets.
Yeah, I saw an SPCA post. There was this woman who like abandoned her farm, all these animals, and I was traveling with Dean in South Africa. And
Oh my
I
God.
sent it to my farm manager, and I said, "Please, Chris," because he's always like, "No more animals."
No more animals.
'Cause of
What do we
course
have
I
at this
have-
point? We have llamas.
2 llamas, 2 alpacas, 3 goats, 30 chickens, 6 horses, including a mini Ginger Spice Kelly.
Ginger Spice Kelly.
We have 2 guinea fowl, which are cool creatures, 2 ducks, 3 pigs now,
God, full grown
2
or little
barn cats.
babies.
They were little babies, but they're growing, and now they're so friendly. Their tails wiggle, and they'll come up to you.
I got bit by a pig, so I'm going to steer clear. When I was little, I was at a feeding farm. There's
You make
so
the
much
jokes
there.
too easy.
Well, you know what? I'll walk you into another one.
Were you fighting over a candy bar or something?
Yeah, and I fucking won. Take that, pig.
Is that why you were in a cast in Turks and Caicos? Because you actually are missing a toe that a pig bit off that you just haven't wanted to complain about?
Yeah, that's how it happened.
I've never actually seen your toes now that I come to think about it. You're
You
always
can't see them right now.
You're always in a cast
or a boot.
or a boot. I'm on
actually,
to you, Strecker.
They're quite cute feet. I mean, how do you think I pay for my apartment? It's really
You
big.
don't cook, you don't clean.
You
How
know,
do you
honey,
think you
they're
got
all
this
over,
ring?
They're all over OnlyFans, baby. This little piggy went to Chanel.
This little piggy got bitten by Piggy.
Okay, I have a confession. So I'm going back to St. Bart's literally by the time this airs in like a week. Okay. And I already
Are
told
we going to
Claudia.
set a budget this time, Taylor?
Okay, so I already told Claudia, and she's not okay. She feels betrayed. But I told her, listen, this is not like, we're not planning a trip with like a group of friends. We'd never, ever do that and not have you guys be the first on the list. My mom called me like 2 months ago, and she was like, I didn't know that I had a shit ton of Amex points. Okay. I had like a fuck ton. And when you guys were in St. Bart's last year, I was so jealous. So it's been my lifelong dream to go to St. Bart's. I've never gone. And so when my eldest child goes, it's like, that's not fair. I want to go. So I am proposing that if you and Taylor Donahue plan the entire thing for us, like literally travel agent level, Dad and I will take you with us for free. So
Okay,
like,
the story's shaping up good.
We'll cover
Okay.
the cost of everything.
I
Okay?
like this.
So, but she's like, plan it just the way you had planned it. Like, we want to go exactly on your trip. So I'm going to tell you how many points she had. And
Okay.
you can even tell me if like, holy shit, that's a ton or
Yeah,
like.
yeah, I'll give my honest opinion.
Okay, so she didn't even know they had points. She didn't even know how to use points. You're the only reason she even knew that points existed. Okay. So she had just over 1 million points.
Okay.
Okay. So I was like, we're rich, bitch. We're going to buy St. Bart's. So I started to go to book it the way that I booked it the last time. And I was like, we should book a villa at this place called Gypsy right on the beach. It will be so fucking sick. And we couldn't even get 3 whole nights at this villa with those points.
Because those points were $10,000.
Literally.
Yeah, and even less. So Amex gives you a little bit less sometimes based on the hotels you book. So yeah, those points go quickly in St. Bart's.
So we realized that it would probably be better spent rather than stay together in a house just to get like 2 separate hotel rooms at that same hotel,
Yes.
Gypsy. So for the 2 of us for 5 nights, she was able. So
Oh.
two hotel rooms.
That's pretty
for 5
good, yeah.
nights. It's almost equivalent to 10.
Look, at the end of the day, using points, you got $10,000 in value. That's a win. You know,
Right,
so
right.
like, look, could you have used those 1 million points and flown like 6 round trip tickets to Europe or more, or maybe 7 or 8 potentially? So you probably could have gotten like 25,000 if you transfer, but that takes a lot of work.
Right.
So I'm not going to, you're going to get a C. You got a satisfactory.
See?
Yeah.
I never got a C once in school, which is hard to believe. I know.
This is a school of hard knocks, honey. Your little laughter can't. I'm the points daddy. I'm going to tell you how it is. Look, you use them. You got value. It's it's a very basic redemption because it's just 1 cent per point or
Right.
thereabouts. So,
But I'm like, did
look,
we
you're
fuck up
taking
again?
a family trip. You can take that 10,000 and spend it on 2 meals. So
Literally. Well, I will say this. She used her platinum card.
okay.
I also am going to put mine down for our room. So we get free
Fine
breakfast.
hotels and resorts. Yeah, that's
The
winning.
best.
Okay, there we go. So now that's the perk side of the house, which
Yeah.
you booked well there.
Yes.
So I approve. Like
Okay.
you're getting good value.
Okay.
Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts is great. They'll hopefully upgrade you.
Right.
There's other perks. So I'm proud. Okay, you have a B-.
Okay, early check-in and late checkout. And late checkout, you get like a whole extra day, it feels like. 4 p.m. checkout, let's fucking go.
Yeah, that's guaranteed. Early check-in is based on availability.
Okay.
But yeah, that's... I'm not like appalled at this at all.
I'm so relieved.
No, but truly the message I want to make and what you learn in How to Win at Travel is like just use points for what makes you happy.
Okay.
Now I want to educate people on the most, but if you so choose to get gift cards because you're in a hard spot financially, or you just want to redeem for this cool hotel,
right.
There's no, W hotels in St. Bart's that you could even redeem for Marriott. So you wanted a hotel, you're going on an amazing family trip.
Right.
You saved money that you can then use to ball out. So that's a win in my book.
Yay,
well done.
we did good. Thank you.
Well done, Mama Strecker.
I am learning through Daddy Kelly. Okay, so like we said, How to Win at Travel, it hits stores in February 4th. But of course, you can buy it
pre-order
ahead of time.
And also I narrated the audiobook, which is 11 and a half hours long. So if you've got a trip to Asia coming up and you need to hear my sultry voice
honestly,
telling you all the things about points. But I am so excited for this book to come out. It's been 15 years this year since I started The Points Guy as my fun little blog passion project. So it's taken me a long time to write this book, but I can tell you it is good. This book has so many tips about how to save money, how to think about insurance, how to book cheap flights. Like the amount of money you spend on this book, I guarantee you will reap many, many, many times that back in value. So I'm like truly excited at this point for people, even if you only really retain 10% of the tips in the book, you're coming out way ahead.
Way ahead. I'm going to tell you right now, just by being friends with you, I've already retained so much. You know what I mean?
I actually gave this book to my nanny who loves to travel, but was not a points person. Mm-hmm. She came into my room. She was like, I cannot believe and this is a hill I will always die on. When you use your credit card abroad, they'll always give you, a lot of times they'll say, do you want to pay in dollars or in euros? And the biggest mistake to make is paying in dollars because basically what they're doing is they're screwing you on the conversion rate.
No.
And most people, this is like one of the tips people just get confused. And a lot of times in the restaurant or the store, they'll say, oh, you're from the US, we'll just do it in US. And you might think that could be wrong. They are stealing from you. They're giving you a horrible, horrible rate. And that store takes that money out of your pocket. It's like stealing, essentially. I think
crazy.
So you always pay in the local currency.
Always.
If you're in Rome, always pay in euros. If you're, you know what? In Mexico, you pay in peso. And she's like, I'm 30, she's in her late 30s. And she's like, my entire life, I've been paying in dollars.
Me too. We did it in Europe. And then when you get home and you see the conversion, you're like,
it's never, ever, ever makes sense to do it. Okay. Even if your card charges you a foreign transaction fee, which you should not have a credit card that does, that's 3%. These conversions that they do are, you could be paying 10% or more, and that just goes straight to the shop or the restaurant for the ease of. It's stealing, in my opinion.
Okay, so lots of other questions directly from the book. Okay, I feel like you're gonna help all of us just be smarter in general. So, cheap flights. Okay. This is something that I picked up from an Uber driver. I'm not sure if it's source. Okay. So he basically told us that when you go to book a flight, you go to your phone, you go to Google Flights, then you go to Maps, and then you pick a destination for cheap last minute flights. But at some point he said that you go incognito. And I was like, is this guy the biggest genius on the face of the planet?
Or he reads my content. I can tell because I give this tip a lot. The incognito thing doesn't really make a difference.
Okay.
Although I will say with AI, certain airlines have come out and said that they're starting to use AI to because the airlines are trying to extract as much revenue out of you as possible. So there are now with technology, they are testing around like new pricing patterns where they will show you two different prices and see what you'll bite on. But in general, like incognito is not going to save you 20%. Like I see these things on TikTok. I'm like, that's just not how fair pricing works.
Right.
But I'm not saying that it's going to stay that way forever. But in general, he's right. Google Flights is amazing.
Okay.
And Google Flights does have that Explorer feature where you could type in New York City to the Caribbean.
Okay.
And say you just need a girls' getaway.
Yes.
You want to go to a warm island. You put New York City to the Caribbean. And you can even search weekends in February and it'll pull in every weekend in February and it does all the math. And then you can scroll across like the map and choose the island or destination that has the cheapest flight. And that's really flexibility is how you save money on flights these days.
Flexibility. Okay.
And just by traveling one day on either side could save you a lot of money. So, or if you're just open to going to Europe, you can travel around Europe so cheaply on inter.
Totally.
So if you just want to go to Europe for the 2 weeks in July, you can put in your home airport, Europe, and then just see the cheapest nonstop round trips.
So
sometimes
smart.
you can, because European economy can be $2,500. I think you guys paid that but you can search and maybe you'll fly in somewhere close by for $3,000 in business class and then just take a train or a cheap flight around. So getting to the continent, that's how like the real experts, we sniff out deals.
I'm going to say this. So for me, like I can fly coach like close by. Domestically, I can do coach. Like even LA, I prefer. Yeah. But I can do it. I legit cannot. Okay. I'm a woman of a certain age and I simply, if I'm going to go that far.
You're too cute for coach.
I'm way too cute. Thank you so much. So I feel like I'm going to have to figure out ways that I can get these upgrades to business. What else is there? Is there anything in between? Because I've seen it on Delta flights before. Economy, business, and then there's
premium
purple.
economy. Yeah, all the major airlines now have premium economy. Basically, premium economy is what like a domestic first class seat is, like the extra recline, a little bit better of a meal. You're not getting the lie flat.
Right.
But, especially a lot of these Europe flights are frankly not too much further than LA.
Right.
So the problem with Europe is that 5-6 hour time difference on a 6-hour flight where you're not getting a full night of sleep.
Right.
Jet lag is killer, which is why I have a whole chapter on jet lag and understanding circadian science.
Yes. Well, I actually have a question about beating jet lag, Daddy-O. Okay, so I have heard that the best thing you can do is so you book an overnight flight, you land like early in the morning, like 8, 9, and then you stay up all day as late as you can, no naps, and then you go to bed around 9, 10, 11, and then you're like, that'll cure the jet lag. But Tay and I have done this twice now, maybe even 3 times, and we stay up, we're dying all day, then we actually make it to 10, 11, maybe even 12, you know how the girlies do, and then we sleep so late, and then we are so fucked.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure 13 espresso martinis doesn't help, but for that deep sleep, deep sleep score. Oh no. So here's the thing. I was always of that mindset. Just take a pill on a plane, sleep the whole amount, and then just look. First off, with jet lag, there's no one cure. Everyone has a different circadian rhythm. So some people are morning people, some people are night people. So your personal jet lag plan of attack could be completely different than Taylor's.
Oh. Bad.
And it's all about light exposure. So sometimes getting to sleep on a plane you don't even want to sleep on a plane. It's better to hold it, especially on super long flights like to Asia or South Africa when you're on for 15 hours. If you just try to sleep for 8 hours as soon as you get on, and then you have another 7 hours, and then you have a 12-hour, so long story short, there's an app called Time Shifter, and that's the only FDA approved app.
Really?
And Time Shifter, it's an Apple Watch app, and it's all about light exposure. So at certain times of the day, you want to stop seeing light, or you want to wake up and get light.
Okay.
And light exposure will help get your circadian rhythm onto the local time zone. So they actually will say, stay up for the first 2 hours, sleep for the next 3.
Uh-huh.
So it's all based on your personal body chemistry. And frankly, so I found pretty much doing Time Shifter. And then also it'll be you start going to bed a little bit earlier before you go to Europe. So your body starts to go.
You're already prepping.
So when you prep a little bit and you have this big time change, it can dramatically decrease the amount of time. So that first day in Europe, you're not cross-eyed, help,
Yes. Well, I was also in Lisbon for your birthday. Going back to what we were previously talking about, Tay and we were having trouble with our flight back. United, for whatever reason, kept changing our seats. Maybe you can explain this too, because we were kind of what is going on? So they kept changing. We were in coach, but we needed an aisle seat, and then Tay wants to sit in a middle seat because she's obsessed with me and wants to touch me and stuff. So anyway,
that's true love, baby.
No shit. I'm babe.
When you find someone who will willingly sit in a middle seat in economy,
true love.
Put a ring on it.
Yep.
That's why I'm still single, because I'll never do that.
I'll never do it either. I'm you're crazy. Sit in the aisle across from me. Are you insane? Yeah. Anyway, so they kept moving our seats, and they kept moving us to the back of the plane.
Well, the airlines, and I think that Lisbon route, they had 2 different types of planes that changed. So
got it.
Airlines do equipment swaps, and that's in the book. I talk about maintaining your records. So many people mistakes how to lose that travel is when you make a reservation months in advance. The airlines often will change the flight times. They'll change the plane type. You'll lose your seating assignments. So many people don't even look at their reservation until the day they check in.
Right.
Then they're at the airport and they're like, what? We're like sitting across from each other. So the best way is to always, whenever you book a flight, especially through an online travel agency, make sure they have your email address.
Okay.
Because if you book on Expedia, that doesn't always translate to your frequent flyer account.
Good to know.
And then just keep checking. I have to be in the right, even in business class, there are certain seats I like can't sleep in. So
of course.
I teach people to, you keep making sure that there's no major changes to the flight, especially if you have a connection. I know a lot of people who will like go on cruises. The airline changes one of the flights, and then all of a sudden you have 29 minutes in Atlanta to run across the entire airport.
Oh my God.
And that's when you miss your cruise, and all of a sudden you're in chaos mode. So getting ahead of that is how you want to travel.
Yep.
Planning the right flights with lots of layover time these days. Because if you're doing a 1 hour layover any airport in the world, you're setting yourself up for failure.
What is like the perfect amount of time if you have to do a layover?
I mean, I'd say 3 hours.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Less is scary.
Yeah.
Right?
3 hours, because you're going to get delayed, especially if you're flying out of New York or into New York, where there's constantly, even on a bright, beautiful day, you might get delayed due to air traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And really, if you're going on a cruise, if you've got a wedding to get to, like, always go the night before.
Okay, good to know.
Always, when possible, or at least take the very first flight out. If you take a flight out before 2 p.m., your chances are 50% greater of getting there on time. The later in the day, the more delayed flights get, the more chance, and then the less options there are. So
okay, good. Well, so we ended up changing our flight because of that, because we wanted good seats.
It makes all the difference. Yeah.
We ended up going to Paris for a few nights.
Yep.
And we were like, it actually makes more sense. The prices dropped so drastically down for such better seats. We got bulkheads.
Yep.
It was like a dream.
Yep.
And we got a few nights in Paris.
Yep.
And
That's
got
winning.
diarrhea.
That's winning.
Exactly. A plus.
And you got gonorrhea?
And we got diarrhea.
Oh, got it.
And gonorrhea, fine. Okay, so I can no longer handle flying coach to Europe. So how many points should I be, let's say, trying to save? Like, let's say I'm like, okay, we're going to try to make it to Europe in this calendar year.
Yep.
So what should my goal be for points so I can do that conversion?
Yeah, so really, like, these days, really good seats to Europe are like 120,000 round trip business class.
Okay, 120,000 round trip business class. Okay.
And these are for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 tickets. So you're really getting like 4 cents. It's very good value.
Yes.
So in the book, because people will have a lot of points, and then when it comes to redeeming them, you choose an option like blowing them on hotels, which Amex points when you redeem on hotels are not worth nearly as much as they are when you redeem for flights.
Correct.
When you transfer to airlines.
Right.
Sometimes Amex even has bonuses. So last year, for example, Virgin Atlantic had business class, and actually this year they still have it for 30,000 points one way, Virgin business. So let's go back to your mom's million points. Virgin, you can 60,000 points fly round trip to London business class.
Wow.
60,000 times 10 round trips is 600. So like 15, 16, 17, 18 round trip business class flights.
You know what?
Call it 3,000 a piece. That's like $50,000 worth of Virgin flights she could have gotten for what you paid for your 5 nights of hotel.
I think I'm going to cry.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said C- originally, but that's an extreme version, and there's like $300, $600 in fees for those Virgin tickets. But the point remains. So in the book, I talk about there are 2 tools that will help you use your points. Point.me now. So say you have specific dates and you want to go New York to Paris, New York to Rome.
Great.
Point.me. And if you have an Amex card, point.me/Amex, you can use this tool for free. And it is like Google Flights, where it'll pull in all the different transfer options. So it'll say, don't pay $1,000 or 100,000 points. You can transfer to this airline for 40,000. It does all the math for you.
Okay.
Then there's another one called seats.aero, AERO. It's a tool that, say you have United miles, you can say you want to go from Newark to Europe in the month of June. Mm-hmm. It'll pull all the business class seats and what days. So a tip that I have is reverse engineer your trips around the cheapest award tickets.
Hell yes.
That's how you stretch the value of your points. That's how you can fly business versus economy. When you've got like one day in mind, this is where people make a mistake. I've got one day. Okay, maybe we'll go June 15th. And then you put in like Newark. You're checking one city, Paris, Newark to Paris on June 15th. That like might be crazy. And that's when people are like, oh, frequent flyer miles aren't useless. But what you should be using is seats.aero, which will pull all of Europe, and it'll show you all the dates where there's 60,000-mile business class tickets for 2 people, 4 people, whatever.
Damn.
And then you're like, hell, let's fly into Lisbon. Oh, there's flights to Copenhagen. Let's do that. And then we'll buy cheap flights. Or another tip I have is you can actually do stopovers where the airlines will let you fly into Copenhagen, spend 3 days, then fly on to Amsterdam for free. Same amount of points.
No.
So stopovers and routing rules. And look, there's ways you can stretch the value of your miles beyond what people are doing today.
How do you like search for a stopover?
So stopover is stopover basically means Air France's frequent flyer program will let you stop over in Paris for free and then for 4 days and then continue on to, let's say you want to go to Budapest. So instead of buying a flight New York to Paris, which is call it 100,000 points and then like 30,000 for the flight to Budapest, Air France, if you just booked it as New York to Paris, stop for 5 days and then Paris to Budapest, Air France will give you that Budapest flight for the same price as going to Paris.
That's
it's
insane.
free.
That's insane.
Free flights, people. So United has, if you have United miles, it's called the excursionist perk. I can't get into the details here, but because it takes too long to explain. But for anyone with frequent flyer miles that wants to take it to like the expert level, Google routing rules. So if you have American miles, Delta miles, how to maximize American miles and routing rules.
Right.
It's some airlines will let you go around the world. It's pretty wild what you can do.
Unbelievable.
It's an advanced topic, but that's how you really start stretching value.
Okay, loves it. Also, winning at lines. Let's discuss winning at lines. So we have Clear. I'm assuming is like having Clear winning at lines,
Yes.
having TSA winning at lines. How do we win at lines? Because lines can be, you can miss your damn flight.
Oh, yeah.
You can do all this
It
stuff
amazes
perfectly.
me. That's why I wrote the chapter. To me, it's so natural. But every single time I go to JFK, it's amazing when I'm at the JetBlue terminal and there's like a 2-mile long line in economy. Even if you fly once a year, paying for pre-check,
Right.
it lasts for 5 years. It's $120 for global entry and pre-check for 5 years. So if you value your time, it's such a no-brainer.
Yep.
In pre-check, you're through. Even a long day in pre-check's 15 minutes.
Literally.
I don't think I've ever
co-sign it
waited
so
more than
hard.
15 minutes in pre-check. Even when the line looks long in pre-check,
Yep.
it goes fast because you don't have to take all the stuff out.
Exactly.
So yeah, lines, that chapter, but that's not just like waiting in physical lines. It's also to get through to like a phone agent. A lot of times during a storm, you call and it's like, it'll be 9 hours. But I have all the tips in the book, like calling the Mexico customer service line for the airline. Call an international number. You'll get right through, and every agent has to speak English for a U.S. airline.
No.
Bam, you're connected right through. Call the Singapore hotline
Stop
on
it.
Skype. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, so Tay recently, something happened with her TSA pre-check. We can't figure it out.
Oh, there's something going on. I
Right?
just got tipped off about.
And so basically we said, like, we went to I don't know, talk to a human being like at the terminal, and they were like, yeah, you look fine. And then it happened again the next time we flew. And so something's
funny.
up.
Someone just today was telling me that there's something really weird going on with like the known traveler numbers, and they're not flowing through to. Someone today was at the airport and was like, no, it's getting messed up.
Right.
I don't know. It's on my to-do list to figure out, to get to the bottom of it for Americans.
Okay, but good to know that it's
You're
actually
not alone.
that she's not alone. Exactly. Can she call the
It wasn't
Mexican?
because you bought that Merkin in Paris
It was because we brought that Merkin in Paris, right? Yeah.
that you're wearing currently.
Yeah, it feels amazing.
Be honest, is that what a Merkin would look like? I've never.
This is exactly what a Merkin would look like. Yes.
Is that very Jenna Lyons, nether regions hair?
This is actually cut from
Jenna Lyons.
Lyons' pubes.
I'm blushing.
So back to travel etiquette.
My, how we digress.
We have to. We're just so naughty together.
Naughty girls.
Yeah, gonna hurt the girl. You gotta hurt
gotta
the
hit the
girl.
girl.
You gotta hit the girl.
It's a saying, people. Don't cancel me.
Okay. The girl's asking for it.
It's a consensual hit.
Oh man. Okay. So travel etiquette. So getting in line before your group is called is something, Brian, that makes me want to fight my fellow airline passengers. Here's the thing. I think I'm also guilty of doing it, but I actually am. I'm either group
You
A.
are in your head deserving of the premium
I am
boarding.
either group A or I am group B. If I sadly get like D or to like fucking Z, I fucking know the rules. I stand back.
Yeah. Well, now it's interesting. So those people are called gate lice, and that's people who just like are in the
Terrible.
wrong lanes, making boarding worse for everyone. Don't be that person.
Don't.
Just board, when you're supposed to board. And if you want to board before, just get a credit card or, pay for that service.
Right.
And airlines are now cracking down on this. American Airlines will now have a horn sound like when you go to scan, it'll be like, it'll like decline you. It will not let you. So
amazing.
I think relief is on the way for the gate lice epidemic.
But then here's a question. Can it be overridden? Because what if
you can.
I have like a traveler with me?
Yes. Okay, they'll make exceptions.
Great, that's fine.
And this is one of my biggest tips in the book. Just be nice. You'd be shocked.
Nice.
I have a whole chapter on like when things go wrong, because they will inevitably. Yes. But people need to understand the difference between asking for a favor, which is actually what we're mostly doing. When things go wrong in travel, you may scream and say like, I hate this airline. I'll never fly you again. Guess what? That agent doesn't care.
They don't care
at all. So like your threat to never fly JetBlue, it's landing on deaf ears.
Literally.
And if you need to get on a flight, what I explain to people is airline reps are under pressure. They actually can get like written up if they do too many favors.
Right.
So, but they will help you if they really like you. If you're screaming at that person, would you scream? Would you help someone on the street who's screaming at you and said
they scream at me in the DMs and I ignore you?
Yeah.
Always. You'll never get a word from me. That's why I used to fight with you because I was an idiot, but now I'm
never
done with that.
Never feed the trolls. Yeah.
Never
Learned
feed
that
the trolls.
long ago. Yeah.
So that's the thing is that.
So
same with
don't
gate
be
agents.
a troll when traveling. Be nice to the gate agents, even if they're snippy. And if they're not helping you on the phone, hookah, H-U-C-A, hang up, call again.
Right.
Like if you're on the phone with an agent who's moronic, don't fight with them. Like if you just get the vibe that they're not doing what you need.
Right.
Thank you so much. I have to go. My baby needs to be fed. Bye.
Right.
And then just call back again. And you may get a supervisor who's in a great mood. You're nice to them. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm trying to book a trip to go see my family. Like you give them a little background. They can move mountains for you.
One time we were going to Stassi and Bo's wedding in Italy, and Tay had like crazy Delta status because she was traveling a lot for work. So we were flying out and I said, we should just look if we should upgrade to first class or whatever business. Why do we call it first in business? Why did that change happen, by the way?
Oh, yeah. It's like called first class domestically, but like internationally it's called business.
Okay. So whatever. Like tomato.
Business. Yeah. Premium.
So we called and they were like, well, we can upgrade Donahue because of her status for like $1,200. And I was like, you know what? Let's fucking do it. Maybe it was even, I said, if it's 1,000 and under, we'll do it. And so then because I didn't have status, they were like, well, you're going to be like $4,000. And Tay'd them. She was herself and super sweet. She Donahue'd them. Yeah. And they were like, okay, fine. We'll give your wife the rate.
Yeah.
And then as she was going through, she was having a really hard time getting Tay's ticket to transfer for like the same amount, like 1,000. Yeah. And it got to the point where she was like, you know what? Like, it's not working. And I was like, oh my God, but I already just paid for it. Like, I'm going to be in first class and this is going to be a nightmare. And the woman was like, listen, happy Mother's Day. I just did it for you for free. Yeah. Because she was having so much trouble on her end to actually transfer that she said, it's just easier if I just give it to you. So you got the upgrade for free. And it was like, we got 2 first class seats on the way there for under $1,000.
That is how you win. It's nice. It's be appreciative. It's all of those things. And I think that's lost so much. And people screaming.
Totally.
It's sunny outside. It's not a weather delay. You're lying. Meanwhile, the plane's coming from Buffalo where they're, and like people just. So in the book, I like you need to understand the situation and what's owed to you versus what you're asking for. In general, there's not many consumer rights in America.
No.
And that's something we need to take up with our government to like create better rights, but it's not the gate agent's fault that there's a lack of consumer protection rights in the US.
Right.
They're just working for a company whose main goal is to make money from you, period, full stop. It's not personal.
Right.
That person is working for a company whose main goal is to extract as much money out of you as possible.
So have you ever seen the video, speaking of people losing their shit at the airport, of this guy and he's like, jealousy. You're just jealous. Have you seen that?
No.
I'm going to send it to you. He literally missed. They closed the door on him, but his plane was still at the.
Oh, that happened to me recently. Yeah.
No. Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
I was like, am I being punked right now? But by the way, on that note, I love sometimes watching like the meltdowns of passengers. Like, there's some good ones in Hong Kong airport of people like blood curdling screams like, no.
Oh, he was flipping. So he was on the phone with his boyfriend and he was saying this gate agent is jealous of me. That's why she's not letting me on the plane. And she was like, sir, that's not
I love a delusional queen.
Oh, and then he was like,
one?
She was like, yeah, we both are.
Yeah.
Wait, have you ever had like an airport meltdown?
No, I've gotten snippy for sure. Because when you're tired and traveling and like.
Yeah, I get it. We're all human.
I never scream at people, but I'm like, I'll just say, thank you so much for being extraordinarily helpful.
when it gets into the teeth, that's when you're gonna get the girl.
You don't know who you're messing with. Meanwhile,
I had a full meltdown.
no, because I don't really ever need to have to get to anywhere. I mean, now that I have a kid, like when JetBlue, their app was messed up, and it said the flight was delayed, and I was across the way. This is my most recent one, but their app was wrong because the gate agent forgot to. Because the JetBlue app is based on the gate agents like clicking a button, like let everyone who's on the app know.
Right.
And so they said boarding. So I immediately left the lounge, which was right away. And then we get and it's closed. She's like, oh yeah, like you weren't here for boarding. I'm like, but in the app right here, it says that it was delayed.
Not my fault.
And she's like, oh, mistake. And then I had to like beg, barter, kick, scream, and go on social media because I flew to LA because I wanted to get home to my son.
Of course.
When you're done with Vegas, you are done.
No. There's no worse place to be stuck in.
I was literally the first thing. Then I was like, get me out of Scaryville. So I just went to LA, even though it was further, because I could at least get a lie flat bed. But,
right.
So yes.
Yeah. Don't worry.
When your flights are delayed, people don't hang out in the airport lounge. Even if the airline app says one thing, some airlines like JetBlue, their technology is so old.
Yep.
Never rely on the airline app. Always go to the gate.
Yep. I had a full meltdown in Newark Airport.
Take your cocktail in the lounge to go.
Yep. And just do it.
Just kidding. I would never.
Okay. What do you do? Here, I have another question. So carry on. So when you're carrying on a plane, there's something that I recently saw a flight attendant do, and she was my queen of the world. She's a national treasure. So this guy was walking back because like people are in A or B because like maybe they have like status, but their seats like in 29E, right? And so he was going back and he popped his seat or he popped his carry-on right above like the first 4 seats, which you're paying a lot of extra money for those extra legroom seats, and you want your bag right above you because then there's so much traffic afterwards.
Yeah, if you're sitting in economy, do not put your bags in first class.
So this guy, he was walking through and he popped it up in like, I guess the first couple rows, not even a first class, of like
of economy,
of like extra.
Well, that's even
room.
more rude because the bulkhead, people in the bulkhead can't have their carry-ons. They have to have space. Yeah,
correct. And so she said, "Sir, come back, come get your bag and bring it back to your seat.
Exactly.
It should be around your seat, not here."
100%.
So why do people do that? Like, I think more people are doing this because I always get like those first 4 seats. Yeah. And I'm a lot of times in bulkhead and there's never any space above. So and I'm like one of the first people on the plane. So what's happening?
I think people just want it to be so they're like, they don't have to carry it down the aisle when they're leaving the plane. So you can just like grab it on your way out. But
literally.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay, what do you do if your like seat mate that you don't know is doing something gross? Like one time, Tay, we had this girl, she was watching a YouTube show with no headphones on.
Oh, I hate that.
I had a person on my flight to Boston, which is a really, really fast flight. So I said, suck it up. But this person kept falling asleep on me, literally, and their head kept hitting my leg. And I'm like, how are you not waking up? Yeah. And so I was like,
they had a long night.
I've seen, oh yeah, they did. And I saw, maybe they didn't even go to sleep. And I saw just recently the guy behind her took not even just his shoes off, his socks off, and his big feet were like touching the back of her shoes. Like, should you say something directly to them, or should you just have the flight attendant come and sort the situation out for you? You can say something.
Look, you can, if you feel like they're like under the influence or like really ornery, you can have the flight attendant. But yeah, I have a whole chapter in the book about etiquette, just because because so many people are constantly breaking the rules. I came from a non-judgmental place, but like this is really what you should not do.
What about how about this?
Yeah.
Bare feet, disgusting.
Yeah.
Taking your shoes off with socks on, is that breaking the rules?
I take my shoes off. Who wants to like, especially even in business class, who wants to, I mean, you could take your shoes off, and if you have socks and they're not smelly. I mean, everything about being on a plane is you're so close to the people next to you. So don't be sweaty. Don't be, just don't have, short shorts and then put your leg next to someone. Like your skin shouldn't, but their airlines are making planes so small.
Right.
Just be mindful. Don't bring stinky food on a plane. Like slam that burrito like 5 minutes before you board. Like, literally. I mean, people, I'm like, you were in so much of a rush. You waited 20 minutes to get pepperoni pizza. Right. And it stinks every food stinks on a plane.
What about declining in coach?
So reclining, and I asked Sir Richard Branson this as for backup. I'm a 6'7" person. It's my responsibility to get seats that I can fit in. So, and the seats recline on a plane for a reason.
Correct.
So on a long flight, I can't sleep 90 degrees. Like those 2 inches are. So yes, you can recline, but be mindful about it. Don't slam your seat back. No aggressive seat reclining.
Okay.
And during meal service, do not recline your seat because there's so little room. I don't want to be looking at someone's scalp as I'm eating my meal. So be mindful. And if someone's super tall behind you, just think, put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
But it's not, especially if the person's in front of you is reclining, you should be able to recline.
Well, that's for sure.
And if you don't want to recline or need more legroom, it's your responsibility, not the person in front of you.
It's true.
To give up something that they probably depended on.
Speaking of celebrities, you interviewed Captain Sully.
Yes.
What was that like?
Captain Sully's cool. I'd met him before. The real celebrity who I loved interviewing was Whoopi Goldberg.
I know. She's the best.
So I have a whole chapter on fear of flying because it impacts millions of people and keeps growing, which is so befuddling because air traffic is so safe nowadays.
I know.
Incredibly safe. And so Whoopi has a crazy story about how she saw a plane crash in the 70s. She spent years with crippling anxiety about flying, and now she flies. She's gotten over it. So I interviewed her about everything she's done. I interviewed my friend Lice, Skywards freak or frequent flyer.
Yeah, I follow her.
She was in a plane crash. Her dad became a pilot, and they crashed in Brazil. But yet her career in hospitality, she lives in Dubai. She's from Brazil, so her story's fascinating. All these different people who have had fears of flying, the different ways that they've coped with it is fascinating. So I don't have a fear of flying, but sitting down with Whoopi Goldberg and hearing about how she saw the plane crash. She was okay flying for years. And then one day she had a crazy, crazy nightmare. And she was never, ever able, from that point on, she got a tour bus and would go 2 days back and forth, New York to LA.
So insane.
But now she's coped with it. She talks about all the different ways. And so that's what this book to me was a lot of fun. Yes, I'm an expert and I drew from my own expertise in a lot of it, but I have a lot of really interesting people that I leaned upon, like Jessica Nabongo, who's the first Black female to go to every country in the world.
Damn.
And she's a single Black woman who went to every single country. So talk to her about what it's, I don't know what it's like to be a female traveling solo, but who better to talk to than someone. And she shared her tips on how to be safe and how she assesses cultural travel. What's the difference between bargaining in a local market and then totally screwing over the locals? Come on, at a certain point when you have money, you can bargain. But there's a lot of interesting nuance to travel that I tried to address in the book. So I do think anyone who reads this book, even if you're a very beginner, I am confident by the end of this book, you will have a very solid place to draw from when things go wrong, or understanding more about your credit so you can get better interest rates and live a better life. I mean, winning at travel is fun, but really learning how to stand up for yourself, make the most of your finances, that's like winning at life.
You actually, in the book, there's a quote that we love, me and Ty. In this new age of travel, the haves and have-nots aren't defined by those with or without money. The more important currency is knowledge, how to maximize the ecosystem and leverage it to your advantage. And that's all in this book.
It is. You don't need to be a millionaire. Everyone talks about the golden age of travel as what's behind us. Wrong. And I opened the book with, we are living, it is incredible. You may see on social media people's gnarly feed or whatever, but the fact of the matter is travel is insanely safe. It is affordable. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, you literally just only rich people traveled. And the world is connected. You could travel nonstop to Singapore. And you don't need to have tons of money, especially if you know how to play the points game. So
totally. Loves it. Thank you for this book, How to Win at Travel by Brian Kelly. Available.
The multi-hyphenate.
The multi-hyphenate. Available February 4th, but pre-orders right now. And also, speaking of which, tonight, by the time this comes out, tonight is your book party.
My book fete.
So what should I wear? And who's going to be there?
It is a chic cocktail event. All my besties will be there. My personal and who's on the back of the book, Martha Stewart, is coming. I love her. I've gotten to travel with her. She wrote her first book at my age.
Oh my God.
And now she just finished her 100th. So I got my work cut out for me.
Damn.
No, we're going to have tons of travel influencers, people in the media.
Can I touch Martha?
Of course. She's a queen.
Can I kiss Martha?
No, she'll slap your ass.
Did you see what happened when she was on Drew Barrymore? Drew's like,
oh yeah,
we're done.
That's a TikTok I should do with her.
Maybe I'll wear Jenna Lyon's pubes.
That's actually, if you look at the details of the RSVP, it's highly, highly recommended.
Highly recommended.
And that's how you lose your TSA pre-check, friends.
Brian, I love you.
Love you more.
Thank you for coming on. You guys get the book. It's so good. How to Win at Travel. Out February 4th, but available for pre-order now. And of course, follow Brian on all the socials.
And if you're in New York City, February 4th, I'll be at Barnes & Noble Union Square for my publication day.
Amazing.
So come on out, 6 p.m.
Come on out. You guys, that is it for us. Have a great rest of your day. Until tomorrow. Bye, girl. Bye.